Well, for the majority of this season, who on earth thought we were going to be finishing with this? For the first time, we take part in the richest game in football. It's 4th v 6th, it's Bournemouth looking to make an instant return to the Premier League versus our Bristol City side looking to make it for the very first time. Yes, hello and welcome to a seismic moment in this career. It is part 18 of Built in Bristol with me, Daniel. If we win today in the Wembley Championship playoff final, we'll be heading to the Premier League and probably building around some of the young stars of this squad. If we lose it, we're probably going to be selling them all for big money and having to completely rebuild our squad this summer. That is the difference that one game can make. That is the difference one moment can make. It's Gary O'Neill's Bournemouth we're up against today. We'll have our season review after it as well. If you're looking forward to seeing if we can make it to the big time with our top goal scorer still out injured and a superstar winger unavailable too, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Of course, unlike last year, we've come into the playoffs in form, and unlike the first half of the first leg where it looked like we were going to get blown away, we've actually been pretty confident in the last couple of games. So let's go and see how we get on in the final as we build up to a huge game against Bournemouth. We did talk about the international honours during the week, which might have caused a problem. It's not happened in the end. They've delayed Tommy Conway joining up with Scotland, and I would assume the same has happened for Bournemouth because they've got nobody away. However, one of their big signings from last summer, Iliam Ndiaye, he is unavailable. He's out injured, as is Hamid Traore, who is another key man, but might be available if they want to risk him. They've also got a few others like Philip Billing, who have just returned from injuries as well. Of course, if we go up and Bournemouth stay down, we are looking at Bournemouth as a potential destination to try and sign players. They've got some brilliant youngsters in their team. They've got some players that might be ready to step up to the Premier League. And of course, we don't know what sort of budget we're going to get. But I might be getting ahead of myself now because this is going to be a very difficult match. The Championship playoff final at Wembley, the 2nd of June 2024. Mark this date. We've gone one better than last year, but can we make it to the Premier League? We're being recommended to make loads of changes. That will not be happening for this game, let me assure you. The only change is from the second leg of the playoff, which is Harry Darling returns from suspension. He comes in for Naismith, who played poorly in that second game, and he drops to the bench today with Ruffin, unfortunately missing out on a squad. So our 11 is Nathan Baxter in goal. Vandenberg and Bajcetic, the two Liverpool loanees, flank Darling in the back three. Buildup in the holding role with Masengo and Scott ahead of him. Pring and Tanner, the two wing backs. And then Greenwood, who's just drifting out of form now, alongside hat-trick hero from the second leg, Abdelassima up front. No sign, unfortunately, of Sam Surridge, not even close to a return. Might not even make it back for the start of next season. Be a lot easier. We've got the extra week for the Premier League. Let's go and get into the Championship playoff final. It is the richest game in football, which as a fan, I was on the right end of this summer as a Luton Town man. But let's see how we get on here with Bristol City and lots of former Luton Town players on the bench. Into the game we go. This is huge for this save. Well, you could argue a slightly more defensive change for Bournemouth today, with Shackleton replacing Ndiaye and Billing playing further forward, but there's a lot of quality in the team. Bristol City's former star Antoine Semenyo is on the bench for them. We've received quite a lot of payments, even in my time in charge, for his achievements there. They've signed the likes of Liam Cooper and Keenan Davis, Jonathan Panzo, who all add depth to their bench. And if you look at the 11 today, Neil Moore plays in, which maybe is a bit of a surprise. Lubicic I mentioned last episode, and a quality defence, which is still the originals. Let's go and get through the dressing room, pick up where you've left off, lads. We're going to try and play on the counter. We're going to try and hit them. I don't know whether this tactic will work well on the big Wembley pitch. We'll go and find out in a moment. Into the first half. Oh, and we're going from the kickoff, which always worries me greatly, as Vandenberg gets it on the right of the back three. What will we do with those two loanees if we go up? As Masengo plays it through to Greenwood. We're in straight away. Sam Greenwood forced wide. It's good defending. And they have got quality men back there, but that could have been a dream start. 15 seconds, he almost got in one-on-one. The defenders, too physical and too good. And it remains goalless, but that was the first half chance. You look at the stats again, Bournemouth not offering a lot at the moment, and perhaps us coming in as the form team has made a difference. If I go and show you very quickly as well, Bournemouth have come in decent form. They were great in the second leg. They beat us comfortably in the middle of January when we played, and early in the season we did beat them. One of our only wins back then, but it wasn't a particularly convincing display, if we're being honest. So with 25 gone, only one shot on target, which is now for Bournemouth, and no real chances on goal. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be a cagey one, which I guess we would have expected. With 5 to the break, we're not even seeing highlights, and hopefully at least this game won't be settled by a red card. He says as famous last words. Half time, 4 shots apiece, 2 of them hit the target for Bournemouth. Well, what do we want to do? Prove a point. It always seems to be the one that gets a response. Most of them inspired, a few poor performers, but we're going to trust this team to deliver. We're 15 minutes into the second half, and again, we're not really seeing any highlights. We knew this was going to be a quite cagey game, and it probably suits us better with the quality that Bournemouth have got across the pitch. But with 15 to go, we're probably at the point where we have to make a move now. I'm going to go for right wing back George Tanner, replaced by Sykes, the slightly more attacking option. And then up front, I am going to bring on Conway for Seema, which is a big call. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to leave it at one change for now. 15 to go. We've gone a bit more aggressive. Masengo has picked up an injury, which is a big blow. But he's recovering for now. Oh, how can there not be any highlights? It's going to be heartbreaking, this, for whoever loses. What do we do? Because we've got to 4 minutes of stoppage time. And we're going to an extra 30. And now we've got to bring on the fresh legs. Let's hope they make an impact. I'm going to replace both of the front two with Cornick and Conway. I'm going to bring Joe Williams on for Alex Scott. Masengo will go into the opposite role. And I'm also tempted to make changes at the back. But for now, we're going to leave it at 4 subs. I don't feel our bench is that deep or improves us that much. And although Bournemouth are having a slightly better of it, I want to get these boys on board. We've got 95 minutes played. There's not been a highlight since the first half. And at the moment, it's so cagey. Will it be settled by penalties? As Buildup releases Cornick, who must be offside. Panzo gets there. The flag doesn't go up and Sykes will recycle possession. Has options inside in Joe Williams. Chance to cross. It's back out to Sykes. Delivers towards Conway. Oh, he could have been the unlikely hero. Bournemouth are going for it. They've put Keenan Davis up front for Lubicic. And Bulak's got a corner for Bristol City. Harry Darling's up. He heads over the January sign-in. How much longer has Pring got in him? Do we have to replace one of the back 3? There are questions whirling around my head as we put a cross in for Harry Cornick. Oh, of course it had to be him. What a header. Harry Cornick, the former Luton man. The man who is unhappy, who wants a new deal. Mark my words, Harry. If that goal secures promotion, I will give you a new contract, son. Don't you worry about that. We're going to make, I think, one more change. We've got 2 more sub breaks. So what can we do with it? Bajatic is knackered, but he's so much better physically than the likes of McCrory or Cal Naismith, who are well past their prime. I'm going to take Bulat off, you know. I'm going to put Masengo in the holding role. McCrory will come on as a second box-to-box. We're going to go for legs in the middle. We've got 15 minutes remaining. Oh, and Harry Cornick. It would be a fairy tale story. Might just be the man. Pring is struggling. Naismith left wing back. Not something we've done often, if at all, in this save. And with 120 minutes almost played, you know what I'm going to do now. Fullbacks, or wing-backs, sorry, onto defensive duties. We're going to slow the play down. We're going to time waste all the time. Surely you can forgive me for that today. Cornick will just get on the end of long balls over the top. And hopefully we can hang on. How many added? Just 1 minute. Oh my words. Why is there nothing to celebrate it? We've just won the playoff final in the richest game in football. Where's the presentation? Where's the celebrations? How on earth have we done this? We were in the bottom 3 till at least November. We were battling for our job till January. And we weren't in the playoffs till the final 25 minutes of the season. And now we're a Premier League football club. Last season I was disappointed because we played well enough to do it and we probably should have held on for the top 2. This season, and what about this tactical change? What about the tactical change, seriously? It's made us more solid defensively, it's given us a bigger goal threat, and without dominating games, we're winning them. This tactic and the low block and the counter-attacking, is the most overpowered thing in FM23. I will not be deterred and I will not be forced for the gegenpress. But Bristol City are a Premier League football club. We need to go and find out our transfer budget and do the season review because we have got a very busy summer ahead. Now let's go and see what's waiting for us. Well, there's delight and praise coming from a lot of the slimy people who wanted to get a sack for most of this season because let's be fair, the board, the fans and quite a lot of the players wanted us out at times this season. However, what a finish it's been. I mean, let me know in the comments. I've never seen a turnaround like it. It's been one of the most frustrating seasons ever, and it has finished in the most bizarre fashion. Harry Darling man of the match after his sending off in the first playoff game. Harry Cornick, the match winner. I mean, seriously, him scoring a header to win the game. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm imagining there's going to be a lot of big contracts requested now, but what are the budgets? You can see it here. The board set the initial ones, 38 million, and a wage budget, which I think is double our current one. It is almost exactly double, yes. 288 grand up to 545 and 40 million quid in the coffers. We're going to try and spend it wisely. We're going to try and do things properly. But this is a monumental achievement. And with some of those young stars at the club who wanted to move on, go to bigger clubs, will they be happy now we're a Premier League team? We'll find out as the summer goes on. What an achievement. Let's get to the end of season review and we'll reflect on a difficult season which finished with a magic day at Wembley. Well, we're back for our end of season review, but if you thought anything was going to change, well, the last 36 hours might have been quite heartwarming for you because the day after the playoff final, Cameron Pring came to say he's going to leave at the end of his contract and he wants to leave to join a bigger club. I'm not sure he's going to get bigger than a bottom half Premier League club, but that's up to him if he wants to move to a rival. Hopefully he'll be worth a bit more once the promotion comes. And of course, the most hilarious result of us winning the final is that we got Manager of the Year, despite the fact we were probably top of the sack race for more of the season than anyone else. The season, well, it's just been a bizarre one, hasn't it? The 2 January loan signings up front made a huge difference, as to be fair, did Sam Surridge in the first half of the year, and he'll be a big part next season as well. Nathan Baxter, a great replacement for Hiking in goal. Buildup, we're going to make a massive profit on now. He's worth 5 times what we signed him for, and his release clause has expired. We'll try and get Bajcetic back, maybe not Vandenberg, but Harry Darling in January again made a real big difference to our squad. Some of the others disappointing. Chiquino just couldn't stop getting injured. But overall, a very good window. And when you put it in context with the outs, Hiking left the club, Rob Atkinson, Jada Silva, Taylor Moore. Who else was first team? Andreas Weimann, who we got 3.5 million for. We really did upgrade the squad overall, didn't we? The loans out, a few of these will come back, but now we're Premier League, they probably won't make it. And we're going to have to focus on, well, trying to build around 1 or 2. But with a lot of them wanting out still and still wanting to go to a bigger club, we're probably going to have to rebuild the squad more than I'd hoped. The season results were bizarre. We got far less points than we did last season. This points total last year wouldn't have got us near the playoffs. But in the end, after being in the relegation zone and at risk of the sack for over half a season, we did manage to get into the top 6 and win Manager of the Year. Look at that start to the season. Remember it, we picked up 2 points from our opening 8 games. We went on a really big unbeaten run, and then we had another disaster around December. We won 1 game out of 6. Then, later on in the year, we had a brilliant run, lost those couple of tricky away games, but look at that finish, and you'll remember, on camera, the Millwall and Forest games were just ridiculous, followed by the second leg of the playoff after that whirlwind first. Birmingham, Coventry and Blackpool down, maybe some good players available there, but let's get through the moments to remember. I mean, the biggest win was that 4-1 at Forest. Still the only time we scored 4 this year. What a time to deliver it. On camera, needing a win to get in the playoffs. It was unbelievable. Goal of the season was Cal Naismith's equaliser in the FA Cup. And there is no doubt that the match to remember is accurate this time. Harry Cornick, the playoff final, making us a Premier League club. Interesting that those 2 moments are both the former Luton boys. Through the finances, the club reputation has not improved yet. The finances will be a worry of the past with the Premier League next year. The shirt sales, you can see some of the big hitters there. I'm not sure how many of those top 4 will be at the club. Surridge's injury probably keeps him here. Scott, Pring, Masengo at the moment all want to leave for bigger clubs if the right offer comes in. All of them have contracts expiring next summer, and none of them at the moment will sign a new one. So I've got a feeling with them 3 and Conway unhappy too, bar Surridge, those 5 will all be gone. I'm of course hoping there'll be a miracle the day we tick over to the Premier League and that will all change, but at the moment I'm not that optimistic. We have a look at the best 11, it's in our old formation rather than our new one, and that's really harsh because it means Sam Greenwood and Abdullah Sima get nowhere near. And if you go through the accolades, well, Fans Player of the Season Cameron Pring, who's demanding to leave. Greenwood was Young Player of the Year despite only joining on deadline day in January. Baxter was signing of the season. Naismith scored Goal of the Year. And Surridge top scorer despite being injured from February. I mean, it's a pretty good effort, isn't it? We got Manager of the Year, as you can see on the left. It's a remarkable achievement from where we spent the first half of this season. And we will not forget this year in a hurry, because for most of it, it was probably the toughest year of FM I've ever played, not having answers to the questions. But this tactic saved us, this style of play saved us, and without being brilliant, we were efficient. Let's get through the dynamic manager tie line. We say thank you very much to the boys, because what a finish, we're the best in the business and we are promoted. 100 games up as well a bit earlier in the run-in, and now we've got some of the players on board and Premier League football to look forward to. The supporter profile update, we've got more fair weather fans and a huge increase in social media followers. One of those will be the Premier League, I guess. And we now got to attempt to avoid relegation from there. That's what the fans want. But what do the board want from our Premier League season? Attempt to avoid relegation. There's no pressure on us at all. We've got another 2 years on our contract still, so no pressure from that front either. We've just got to give it a go and see how we get on. They want to play attacking, possession, entertaining football. Not sure we're going to do that, but we will press a bit. So let's accept the current vision. We've got nearly 40 million to spend, and to be fair, based on what we expect to happen this summer, there's probably going to be a lot more than that, because if we do end up losing Masengo, Scott and Pring, we're going to get the best part of 50, 60 million for those 3. So I've got a feeling that hanging on to them till this summer may well be fruitful for us. Although hopefully they'll all agree to stay once we officially get promoted. Let's discuss the plans for next season. We want to say we'll have to strengthen the squad to give us as good a chance as possible. I'm pleased you'll be adding to the squad. Most of it's offended. All I can say is I want you to work hard to try and avoid the drop. Oh, sorry, I thought that's what I said. That message is very ambiguously worded. But let's go and get through to the schedule and confirm the end of the season. We have won the Championship playoff final after a ridiculous finish to the season. I mean, I still can't get that Forest game out of my head on the final day of the season. The West Brom first leg, what a turnaround, what a bizarre game of 2 halves. And then since then, we have been brilliant defensively, which hasn't always been labelled at us this year. If you're looking forward to a big summer transfer special, seeing how many of the big boys want to stay this summer, or whether we have to completely rebuild, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. I think you'll know for sure we're going to be sticking with this tactic, but will we have some superstars to play it? Well, if you want to stay up to date and find out, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Get your predictions in early. What position are we going to finish in the Premier League? And in the meantime, we'll be back with our Builder Nation tomorrow before our Premier League transfer special in 2 days' time. I hope to see you there for it, but up in the eye above, you can find all the other playlists, the Twitch channel and the football podcast for regular Premier League and Championship predictions. And down in the description, links to anything else you can't find. But thank you for watching this rollercoaster season. How we avoided a sack, I don't know. How we kept our job in the relegation zone in November, I'm not sure. But we're a Premier League football club. The team has been rewarded for sticking with us. And now we prepare to play in the best league in the world for the very first time.